Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
He's alive!
Welcome to Where the Weird Ones Are.
Every time I speak, I want the truth to come out.
Powerful figures in Hollywood as well as powerful politicians who are in fact not human. They're reptiles or they're lizards or perhaps extraterrestrials.
I don't think it is a human. I think it's a Sasquatch.
Go ahead and run. Run home and cry to mama.
Let's get weird.
What's up, you fucking weirdos? Welcome to another episode of Where the Weird Ones Are. My name is Kevin, but you probably already knew that, and if you didn't, now you do. Today's episode is with Stacy. She is a kitchen witch, as she likes to describe. She is a very friendly person. I met her through Instagram, and she's become a pretty good friend. We talk pretty consistently here and there. She's friends with Amanda from One Nothing and David down the rabbit hole and a few others and stuff like that. So the circle and tribe is forever growing, and I am so happy to be here for it. So I hope you guys enjoy the discussion that Stacy and I have today. And and enjoy her stories. She has a couple good ones, and show her some love. Witch with all the gifts, 666. Not a fan of the numbers, but you know, it is what it is. She's still a good person. So some people just don't realize the magic in some numbers. Anyways. So, with that being said, shout out to One Nothing Podcast. Amanda and David are killing it, and sometimes Rachel. That is her name, right? It is Rachel. I'm correct on that, right? Right? And then obviously David. So go check out David's merch store. Coupon code is in the ad. So, but kids and I went to Florida. It was amazing. It was a little stressful at times, but it's all right. A lot more people than I'm used to. So, but Key West was super laid back, and I really enjoyed it. We went on dolphin watch and snorkeling, and then we sat on the boat while the sun set, and the sunset was beautiful over the Gulf of Mexico, and I loved every minute of it, and I got to spend it with my kids. So what else? Check out the Middle-Aged and Creeped Out podcast. That's a pretty good podcast, and I think you guys, if you enjoy this one, you'll enjoy that one. Tommy Cullum, love that fucking guy. Cryptid Warfare especially, go check them out. They're good shit. They'll probably make you laugh too a little bit, or a lot, or if you don't have a sense of humor, you probably won't laugh. So but that's on you. So anyways, like, follow, share, subscribe. That is the only way to help this show grow. Head on over to the merch store if you're interested in buying a t-shirt or something else that's in there. That is etsy.com/shop/wheretheweirdonesare. Currently building a website, so more details on that will come soon. Other than that, show Stacy some love. She's a fantastic person, and I am so happy to have her in my circle. So yeah, show her some love, lend her your ear, and remember, question everything, and stay fucking weird.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Let's get weird. Let's get weird. Let's get weird. Let's get weird. Weird. Get weird.
So, football has started, and you are a San Francisco 49ers fan, I hear from the grapevine, or should I say the DeeperDown subscription messaging that we're all involved in.
Oh yeah. Uh, I have loved San Francisco since Montana creamed Marino in the '84 Super Bowl. Love that man.
Yep.
And now Brock Purdy, he's taken us that direction again.
Good, good. What were your thoughts on Garoppolo?
I hate Jimmy G. I think he's garbage.
I do too.
He's just a shit player. And we had the Las Vegas game on, and I'm watching it. So I text my nephew real fast. I'm like, thanks for taking our trash out for us, you know?
I remember when he was backup for Tom Brady, and the couple times that they put him in, I was just like, I hope Tom Brady doesn't leave and they give this guy fucking the number one spot, because this guy sucks.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, at least he got his chance to try, I guess. But maybe one too many years he was a number one. What was it, like 3 years?
Yeah, unfortunately, and we didn't go anywhere in those 3 years.
Yeah.
And this may sound sadistic, but when he got hurt, I was like, "Oh, yes, we can put someone else in."
That's hilarious. So anyways, for anybody who doesn't know you, because there's gonna be a couple people that do know you. So just tell people who you are and a little bit about yourself, since I know you
Okay.
don't have a podcast, but just just like a brief summary of who you are.
So my name is Stacy Johan, and I reside out here in Dairy Country in California. I don't have a podcast, but I have so many of you guys that I just love you and down the rabbit hole. Um, Amanda's 1-0. She started it all for me.
Mhm.
Just Farah, just a great community. I was a social worker in Los Angeles for 10 years. I was a nurse for 12, and now I deliver auto parts.
Do you like that? Do you like doing that?
I do, yeah, because I start out my day with whichever the newest, latest episode is. And then if I come across a new podcast, then I just binge it all day. There's
Yeah.
no, I mean, I drive around, I have some really great coworkers, a shitty boss, but that's life.
Yeah, you got to take the pros with the cons, I guess.
Yeah, but it's a great little gig. I like it.
Nice, nice. So, so I understand that you have a few paranormal experiences. So,
Yeah.
and you are a witch. So that is something that I definitely want to get into. So what I want to start off with is the earliest experience that you can recall, if you don't mind sharing that with us.
So the earliest, like, I would say paranormal that I've ever experienced was when I was growing up. My aunt had a 2-story house, and my cousin and I, who was 9 months to the day younger than me, we would explore the attic, we'd go down into the basement, just all of these things. And my aunt always talked about hearing a knocking behind the wall. And one day out of the blue, she just decides that she's going to go figure out what this knocking is. And she started pulling wallpaper and particle board down, and found another staircase that went up through my cousin's bedroom and through her closet.
Wow.
And so it from there, it went from just a little knocking behind the wall to her to my cousin not even sleeping in that room anymore because she could hear knocking at that door.
Wow. So she
Yeah.
basically stirred up some energy doing that then, huh?
She did something. um, and then I was a hospice nurse for a while. So we would go out and do home visits. And the biggest one, the one that comes to mind first is there was a gentleman who had had brain surgery. He unfortunately had a piece of his skull that was gone. So the brain was exposed. That was supposed to help with the reducing of the swelling. And it didn't. Unfortunately, it just got infected. And so they called us out. He was totally unconscious when I got there. I started doing my assessment, and I came out to talk to his wife. And I noticed they had an old cuckoo clock sitting on their entertainment center. And I looked at it and I commented that it was beautiful. And the wife's like, it has never worked since we got it from his parents. I said, okay. So I go back, I check on him, I start getting the medications ready for comfort care, come back, and the arms were going counterclockwise. And then all of a sudden it stops. And I can't remember what time it stopped on, but it stops. And I thought, oh, weird. So I go back, and he had passed. And when I looked at my watch and then looked at the clock, they were the exact same time.
Wow.
And
That's super interesting.
and even the wife, she said, I can't believe what I saw. And me either. It was crazy.
Yeah, I'd say that's a weird coincidence. Not only can you possibly say that was a possible maybe him and the clock were synchronized, or something was basically telling you what time he was gonna go.
Mhm.
And then it just happened to be sync up with your watch or whatever. So I feel like that would have gave me some goosebumps.
Oh yeah, I got goosebumps now kind of talking about it, because I didn't really think about it till talking about it with Courtney from Haunts.
Yeah.
And I thought about it, and I thought, I wonder if it was going backwards because he was in the process of dying, and then it stopped when he stopped.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, synchronicity with the clock. Did you say, I'm sorry if I missed it. Did you say that it was like a passed down clock, or?
Yeah. Yeah, it was, they had received it when his father had passed away.
Okay. All right.
And it was a handmade clock. So
Hmm. Interesting. And then it never worked. The wife said, right?
yeah, she said it had never worked. From the whole time they had gotten it, it had never worked.
Huh. That's bizarre. That definitely that kind of gives me like I get a little like a weird like shiver in the up the
Yeah,
back of my spine right now. So just thinking about it. So, huh. That's uh that's interesting. That's très bizarre.
very, yeah, very. Um, and which is funny because I have always just stated I'm a skeptic.
Yeah.
I don't believe. And then the more that I've started thinking about things from the past and learning more about paranormal, um, it's like, well, I can't really be a skeptic, can I? Considering a lot of practices and rituals that I do.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, it's good to have a healthy skepticism while having also a belief in
Mhm.
these sort of things, because not every bump in the night is like is paranormal, and not every bump in the night is explainable. So so I feel like to have a healthy balance of both aspects can help you in a lot of ways. But yeah, I wanted to ask you about your practicing of witchcraft and whatnot, and what really got you interested in following that path. Like what started it off for you for that?
So I am both a hereditary witch as well as a kitchen witch. Um, the rituals that I use, I learned from my grandmother on my mom's side, my mom, and then as well from my great aunts on my father's side, and that's where the heritage part comes in. They brought different rituals, spells, um, plant identification, and things with them from Portugal and from Spain when they came to the United States. Um,
No way.
but I didn't start practicing until about 7 years ago, is when I started. I was too busy doing other things.
So,
And
but you knew of your family history and whatnot
mhm. Oh, yeah.
before. Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah. My grandma would, and my mom too, just pass down recipes that if you were sick, this is what you had. If you had this illness, this is what you had. If
Mm-hmm.
you if you were down on your luck, you were out of your job, you drink this kind of tea, you ate this root. And now my father's side, that was more of learning about the phases of the moon and how it affects us, calling upon the love and guidance of certain goddesses to help cleanse and protect you from those who may want to do you harm.
Yeah. So you said you were a kitchen witch too. That was
Mhm.
one of the.
Yeah.
So I've never heard. I assume that it falls in line with the recipes that you were just talking about. So I've never heard that um term, I guess. So I guess basically, if you don't mind explaining.
Oh, no, of course. So a kitchen witch uses herbs, vegetables, fruits in recipes to bring about unity, protection, health. A good example is when you meet a new friend, share a cup of jasmine tea with them. because jasmine signifies unity within the universe. So that helps to bring unity between you and your friend. Anything that grows on a vine, you can use to bring strength, unity, health to your family, or to any that you share this with. A big thing in our house is an onion leek soup, because leeks are a good luck vegetable, because they in past times it was hard to grow leeks. So if you had a bountiful harvest, that meant you had a good year coming. So
Yeah.
that's what we do on New Year's Eve.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So 7 years ago is when you started this, you said.
Yeah. I met my wife 7 years ago, and I just fell head over heels in love. And
I love that for you.
so I wanted to be able to have kind of this in my back pocket. So I went to my mom and I'm like, you're going to have to teach me how to cook. And my mom's like, okay, finally. So
Awesome. And then it's just been on ever since.
yeah. After that, she gave me recipe cards from my grandma. My father's sister, she gave my sister a whole bunch of cookbooks from our grandmother, and my sister didn't want anything to do with it because she just completely associated it with evil and Satan, and so she didn't want anything to do with it. And I'm like, no, it's not.
Is your sister religious?
No,
No.
not
Okay.
particularly. She's just more, she's very superstitious.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's funny how many people stick that onto any kind of witchcraft, that it's opening the door to evil things and possibly the devil and whatnot. I mean, you had women back in the day being told they were, or being accused of being a witch, and instantly there was no like questioning it. It was just like, let's hang them, burn them at the stake,
Yeah.
or let's throw them in the river or whatever, you know what I mean? And it's just and the thing is too, is that men can be witches too. So there was actually, back in like Salem and the Salem witch trials and stuff, there was practicing males, but you don't ever hear of them being burnt at the stake or anything. It was always women. So I just find that odd to me.
And the funny thing about the men that practiced, you didn't hear a lot about it, because a lot of times what would happen is, if a governmental or a religious leader wanted the land, the cattle, the whatever, the property of a certain family, they would go to the male of that family and say, look, you can have the opportunity to run off and leave us your stuff, your belongings, and we won't hang you, we won't drown you. But if you fight us, then we're going to burn you as a witch. And most of the men, they took off. They were smart. They took off. But the women didn't have that type of opportunity, because the minute that a religious leader or even a religious person's family said, hey, they're bewitching me, the women were put down.
Yeah. And there's a prominent figure too during all these like witch trials and stuff like that. I can't remember his name, but I might do like a Conspiracy Tuesday to cover on him, because he made a lot of shit up just to keep a job. And he killed a lot of innocent people just so he could continue getting paid. And then they find out that, he was conspiring with other people, and I think one of them happened to be a priest of a church or whatever that he
Oh
was
yeah.
using, and it 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 goes fairly far, and he was a nasty person. So it's, I mean, I'm glad we are where we are today in a sense of, things like that.
Hmm.
It's a lot harder these days to get away with murder. So, I mean, not that people don't do it. Obviously, we wouldn't have the stories that we have a lot today, but um it's a lot harder to get away with it.
It's a
So,
lot harder publicly to get away with it. I mean,
mm,
if you were, okay, I'll use myself as an example.
okay.
I do not have an older male heir. I do have a younger one because I have my son.
Mm,
Um, I own property, and I am not married to a man. I would be burned immediately because the church would see me as a fornicator with Satan because I don't associate, or I'm not married to the church.
yeah.
So, and then to find out the little things that I do in the kitchen would definitely.
Oh man. I'm just glad that the steps that have come that we've overcome. It's just a lot of, like you said, like your sister being superstitious. There's just a whole lot of superstition throughout the years of like the Dark Ages and all this stuff and things that they saw, so they associated it with certain things. And I don't know. I'm happy people don't get burnt at the stake anymore for their lifestyle choices.
Do you need healing crystals? Do you need to get your chakras aligned and heal your mind, body, and soul? You need to check yourself and become one with the universe once again. Then I suggest you head on over to www.etsy.com/shop/heal-with-Kristina. That's where you'll find all sorts of custom designed crystals for your healing and visual pleasure. I promise you, you won't be disappointed with the plethora of things you can choose from. Necklaces, healing crystals, all sorts of wire type things and such. Kristina is a good friend of mine and she enjoys helping people, so please help her out by checking out her shop. And at checkout, please use code WEIRD125 for a 25% off discount. That is www.etsy.com/shop/healwithKristina. And remember, friends, use my coupon code WEIRD125. That is a capital W on that, so you can get your 25% off discount. I promise you, you won't be disappointed in checking this out. Well, my friends, when you do, tell Kristina I said hi. Stay weird, my friends.
Even literally and figuratively as well. I mean, even figuratively, as early as the 2000s, well, even way before, but we basically were in a court of law, were burned at the stake for the choices that we made.
Mm-hmm. And um and then a lot of people were dragged through the mud through like internet, like their name was like, especially in the early 2000s,
Mhm.
their names were like slandered or whatever for lifestyle choices. So but I mean, still people try, I feel like, on the internet to this day, but I just feel like it's more like, yeah, whatever, for a lot of people.
Well,
Like for me, like anything, I mean, nobody, for me, nobody can, anybody's judgment on me doesn't matter to me, because I'm not living for those people. I'm living for myself. And
that's
I'm
right.
sure, like, you seem like that type of person too, where you have that kind of personality where you don't really care what anybody thinks. You're just gonna do what you do. And that
Yeah,
is commendable in
absolutely.
itself. So
Thank you. I live by a motto of other people's opinion of me is not my business.
yeah, exactly. It's a good model to live by. So have you put your practice of witchcraft to work? Like, have you been able to help anybody or help yourself with
Um,
any of the magics or recipes or anything like that?
I've been able to help myself quite a bit. I use turmeric, and um, root vegetables to
Mm,
kind of stay off. I was diagnosed with the beginnings of rheumatoid arthritis,
ooh.
and so we've been able um, to utilize a lot of herbs that way. But it's mostly turmeric. I put it into capsules and I take it because I can't drink it as a tea. It just doesn't do well for me. Um, Potato soup in our house. Anybody that is sick, whether you are family by blood, family by choice, you get a pot of potato soup, because potatoes are very grounding,
Mm.
and that comes from them being of the earth. And so it helps to ground you to where your body will heal itself.
And they're more of a healthy carb than a lot of carbs that are out there. So not
The
only does it do have those qualities, I feel like my mic keeps getting loud and then not. Do I keep getting loud and getting quiet on you on your side, or do I?
No, you're fine on my side. Yeah.
Huh, I wonder if it's my headphones. But well, as long as it's good for consistent on your end, and I'm sure the recording is once I listen back to the recording, it'll probably all sound the same too. So um but yeah, potatoes and yams are a good carb, as well as beans. So, and that's all earth
Yeah.
binding, grounding, as you say. Uh, Vegetables, or I guess they're all considered vegetables. Beans are considered vegetables, aren't they?
Yeah, they're like a legume.
Yeah.
Um, so they're a protein. But lima beans, black-eyed peas, beautiful, beautiful to use, especially to give like a soon-to-be bride,
Okay.
on after you learn of somebody is getting engaged, to give her wealth, fertility, any of the things that she is looking for her marriage. These are beautiful to give in a soup, in just black-eyed peas. My mom would make a container of them for everybody that she knew whose daughter was getting married, because it brought forth the first year of marriage as a good year. And so we do that now, is black-eyed peas. If you're, or someone that we know is getting married, we give them a small container of cooked beans, and you do whatever you want with them as long as you ingest them before your wedding.
Oh, that's interesting. That's pretty cool. I learn something new every day. That's a not only is it a positive thing, but it's helpful, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm. It and two, although I do mainly my practices are in the kitchen, I also I call upon the goddesses, I call upon the earth, I call upon Mother Nature herself to
Hmm.
give us certain elements for either weather, temperature, to give us California is a state where we have massive droughts. So I'm a solitary, which I don't belong to a covenant, and that's by choice. Because I do not want to, nor do I agree with practicing dark arts. I don't agree with it. I don't think it's good for the environment. I don't think it's good for the human soul.
Mm,
Um, so I prefer to have my practices be very positive.
okay.
So I have on many occasions done a small ritual with the earth where you bury a bean in your backyard, and it could be any kind of bean. I always use a kidney bean,
Yeah.
just because I like kidney beans. But you bury it in your backyard and you water it continuously for 7 days. And you ask the goddesses if they will bless you with rain.
Oh, no shit. And then it
Hmm.
grows a big beanstalk all the way to the clouds, and then you go visit the giants.
Yeah, and then you just climb up there and you steal that golden goose, because I've got two teenagers and I'm telling you, I could use a golden egg every now and then.
Oh, I can imagine. I have two teenagers myself, so
Oh, yeah.
yeah, they can be a lot. Just food in itself. The first thing every time I pick up my daughter, the first thing she says to me, "What is for dinner?" Because I pick
Hmm.
them up on Friday night, and I'm just like, I don't get like a high. I don't get, hey, I missed you. Nothing.
Oh
It's
no.
instantly food. That's all you
Oh yeah.
think about.
My son will text me, "What time are you getting home?" In an hour. Oh man, an hour? What do you mean? What's for dinner? I don't know. I have to see what's in the fridge. Well, can you give me an idea? And then the minute I walk in the door, it's, are you going to start dinner? When is it going to be done? What are we having? Can you bring food home? Can you bring me chips? Can you? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fucking. Well, I mean, I can't blame them. I was kind of the same way in a sense. Like, I mean, I didn't ask my mom about my mom. My mom and I had a weird relationship, but if there was eggs in the fridge, I was boiling all of them, and then
Ooh.
I would end up with like I would end up with like 10 egg salad sandwiches, and then I would eat them all in one sitting. And then I would make brownies if there was brownie mix. So at like
So,
14, 15, 16 years old, that's what I would do on a September, October night after school,
ooh.
is just eat a shit ton of sandwiches. And then my mom would get home and be like, well, now I have to go grocery shopping again. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I was hungry. Like everything, every time I made something that took a lot to make, a lot of
Mhm.
ingredients or whatever, I ate it all. I never threw it out. So it wasn't like I was wasting it, like I was actually eating it. So, and that's probably how I got so fat.
No, 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 no. Trust me. Um, I totally understand that, but I grew up very poor, and
Same.
so since my wife and I do make fairly good living, I tell my children, especially my son, our daughter right now is she's in college, so we see her sporadically.
Hmm.
Um, but I tell him, if it's there, you eat it. If you want it, you eat it, and you let me know if I'm low on something that you want, because I don't ever want him to feel like he can't have something. Now he may have to wait a couple of days, but
Yeah.
I do my best to keep it. And it's funny that you say egg salad sandwiches, because eggs are a big sign, a big symbol of fertility. So the fact that you only have 2 children, and you ate all of those eggs.
Yeah. Well, I wanted more, so I'll just say that. I'm from a large family, but I mean we grew up poor so as well, so it was either bologna sandwiches or I was boiling them eggs. Um, but so I have 6 brothers and 4 sisters. Not all of them are full-blooded.
Hmm.
Some of them are adopted, some of them are step, and then a handful of them are half. And then I only have a full-blooded sister and a full-blooded brother. So there's only 3 of us that have the same parents. But yeah. I wanted like 5 kids technically, but I only got 2. But it's good enough. Um, you never know. I'm not too old to have another. So
Well, and in truth, men can have children way into their 60s.
well, Mick Jagger is 76 and he just had one. So
That man.
I heard that and I was like, are you kidding me? Oh man, I was just like, I would lose my mind if I was 76 and having a kid. Like you're not even gonna be able to experience, the things that a father should be able to experience and be a part of. So I don't know. I feel bad more for the kid, I guess.
I do too. In all honesty, that was nothing but an expression of masculinity. He did not want to be a father. He wanted to show that he still could.
Yeah,
And unfortunately, all of the rearing is going to fall upon the mother.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
I think she was like late 30s or early 40s, I think too.
Which I got to be honest is gross.
Yeah, I agree. I
Gross.
100% agree with you.
How do you look at a 76-year-old man in your 30s and 40s and be like, yes,
That's my man right
that's
there.
my
That's
guy
the
right
guy
there?
I want. Well, I mean, to be honest, it was most likely the lifestyle and the things that she could get out of him.
Oh, of course.
M-
And
m-
being able to say, I had Mick Jagger's kid.
Yes, yep, that too. So there is that. So have
Well,
you ever like experienced any negativity with your with like so do you make it well known that you practice?
no,
Oh, okay.
I don't. I actually just started telling certain trusted friends and things only because I don't like the stigma that goes along with it.
Hmm.
I mean, unfortunately, I already get judged for being a lesbian. Um, so I didn't want to bring that up. But then I started realizing that I had quite a few very trusted friends. And I wanted to share with them the benefits and things that I felt came from these practices and from these rituals. And so I've told my best friend, and which, quick shout out, hi BJ, love you.
Say
Um,
that one more time. It cut out. So just so she can hear it
oh,
if she
hi
listens.
BJ, I love you. You are, yes, bestest. Love you. Um, and then there's another young girl that I work with, Michaela, and she's a baby witch.
Okay.
So she is just starting out. I've been sharing with her some rituals and things that will help with her mental health, some meditations, just different affirmations from the earth, to help her to kind of get grounded as well.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Mental health is extremely important, and I am 100% an advocate for that, just because I know what it's like to live with certain traumas. Not do I think that my trauma is more than anybody else's or worse than anybody else's. I'm sure there are people that have experienced. I'm not kind of sure. I'm like 100% sure that there are people out there with heavier trauma than mine. But I if I can help somebody off the ledge, or maybe be a little bit more happy, or love themselves a little bit more, I will definitely do that. So um, I think you helping her, not only with her becoming into her own, but also with her mental health, I think that is
Mm.
extremely good on you, and that just shows more of a kind of person, what kind of person you are. You're obviously extremely selflessness self and did I say that right?
Yeah,
Selflessness.
selfless.
Yeah, selfless. There we go. I don't know why I'm putting the ness on, but shows how selfless you are, and it's extremely commendable, just in that aspect of the realm, because we all need a little bit of help, no matter what stage in life we are. And uh it's really good. It's really good that there's people like you out there.
Thank
So,
you. Um, I know the darkness of
mm,
mental health challenges. I lost my mom in August of 2020. And she was, other than my wife, she was my greatest supporter, my cheerleader. She would tell me constantly I could do anything I set my mind to.
mhm.
And when I lost her, I lost for a moment the sense of who I was. And which kind of is another paranormal experience. I attempted suicide in April of 2021, and my wife couldn't get a hold of me for 5 hours, which is very, very out of the ordinary, because I always answer. It wouldn't
Mhm.
matter what kind of frame of mind I was in. And so she told uh, her lieutenant, "Hey, I've got to go home. Something's wrong." And when she was in the car, which she won't admit to it now because she's a big skeptic, but she said in the car on the way home, she heard my mom's voice very distinctively say, "Hurry." Yeah. And when she got here, um, I was on the edge. And the fact that she was fast brought me back. So if I can do that for someone else, then I've lived my purpose.
That you just made me cry. I like that story, not because of the situation, but um, your mom's looking out for you, so
Hmm.
still, so
Oh,
that is.
I feel it. I feel it.
Uh, so, how often do you try and connect with your mother through meditation or anything like that?
I don't,
Yeah.
because my fear is that, because my mom took care of our whole family.
Hmm.
Um, I am afraid that if I try to contact her, it will bring her energy back to, and unfortunately trap it earthbound. And
yeah, you have
I
a
want
point there.
her, yeah, I want her to have the ability through her energy to have her energy expressed into another form. So she gets that ability to be this amazing entity all over again and again.
That's a good point. So for anybody trying to contact loved ones, maybe don't, because I think calling on spirits can, like you said, could possibly trap them earthbound, and that's how you get hauntings.
Well,
So
and also too, um, you may think you're contacting one,
that
and there
too.
could be a dark spirit that was just waiting for that door to open.
That's it. That's a good point too. So because dark entities can fake a lot of things because they know a lot of things about you, because they can be, once the door is open, they can see a lot of things into your mind, into your mind's eye. And they get to know you pretty well before they make themselves known. And sometimes they come in the form of a loved one, and you allow them to stick around, and that's how they get stronger.
And they'll take every bit of goodness from your life. They'll take the good people, they'll take the good everything, energy, they'll take everything good from you. And truthfully, contacting spirits of loved ones, I feel, is kind of selfish, because it's our pain, it's our guilt, it's our missing that we feel when a loved one passes. And my mom was the most selfless person I ever knew, so I wouldn't want to do that to her.
No. Yeah, I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to either. I have never called upon a loved one either. Just because it would probably just put me back into that state anyway. So you know what I mean, of when I lost them. So but what you said definitely is a good point to stay away from doing that kind of stuff. So
I'm trying to free your mind, but I can only show you the door. You're the one that has to walk through it. And by walking through it, my friends, head on over to www.DeeperDown.store. There you will find some sick-ass threads, AI-inspired art on t-shirts, hoodies, flip-flops and cups, and motherfucking tote bags. I promise you, my friends, if you follow the rabbit, you will not be disappointed. You can also find _ down the dot rabbit hole _ on Instagram. He has thousands of followers, and he shows you deep down the rabbit hole on conspiracies, hauntings, and cryptids. I highly recommend you subscribe for $2.99 a month. Also, if you check out his store, upon checkout, enter code KevinsWeird18. There, my friends, you will get 18% off of your purchase. So please, I highly recommend and suggest to you to go check out his store. David is a good friend and he deserves the utmost respect, and I wish him nothing but success. But this is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
I did want to ask, how often do you find yourself meditating? And like you said earlier, with the potatoes about grounding and stuff, how often, not only how often do you meditate, but how often are you able to ground yourself on a weekly
Um,
basis?
I actually eat potatoes every day. So either for
Awesome.
lunch or for dinner, I'll have potatoes every day. I throw onions into it because onions, they give you kind of a protection against those that may choose to harm you.
Hmm.
And whether it be spirit wise or through their own dark magic, they try. Um, I mostly practice in the fall only because I'm a fall baby. I love fall. So the pumpkins and the squash and
Same.
yes, all the wonderful. But with every home cooked meal, I will say a small kind of incantation over the seasonings and the herbs, please bring my family health, wealth, and well-being. And then anytime that we have a certain crisis in our family is when I find that I meditate the most.
Interesting. So, have you ever had any any scary situations that you could attribute to being like a paranormal encounter?
Um, yeah, actually, it scared me. But I was working overnight in a home where we were actually hospice for the wife,
Mm-hmm.
but her husband lived there as well. And there was one night I went in and he was sitting by the bed and he had put his head down. Remember in school when you crossed your arms, put your head on your desk?
Oh yeah.
That's how he was on his wife's bed. And I'm like, oh, and I turned around, walked out. I didn't want to, I was for sure he was asleep.
Uh-huh.
And I went to go down the hallway and something caught my eye. I turned and looked and he was standing with his back to me in the hallway. And so I said his name, Mr. Sir,
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay? And he said, yeah, but I'm going to be going. And I said, okay. I went back into the kitchen and I actually was carving pumpkins to take, because I like to do the very intricate details. So I'm like, if I got to stay up all night, I'm carving a few pumpkins. And I went in to check her vitals, and her vitals were strong, but he hadn't moved in more than 45 minutes. So I checked his pulse and he was gone. He had passed away. And I immediately called our director and I said, you better get someone here now. This is weird. Our patient didn't expire, but her husband did. And when she got there, she's like, why don't you turn on the heater? It is extremely cold in here. And I'm like, I did. And my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, she got me this really thick blanket because it was always cold there.
Yeah. Wow. So you definitely saw him before he chose to go into the light, essentially. Wow, that would have scared the shit out of me too.
It did. I said, I'm not working nights anymore, and I'm definitely not working here.
Yeah. So what was it that caused him to expire?
Honestly, there was not an autopsy done, because he was in his 80s.
Okay.
So both of his children just declined to have it. So it went down as natural causes, but I don't know. I mean, he was perfectly fine, and then he wasn't.
Well, a broken heart can do that to you too. So the fact that, you're hospice, once somebody's on hospice, that's pretty much like the road to the end, essentially, in my experience, in my experience of people that I know who've gone into hospice anyway. So I mean, who knows how long they were together? They've probably been, I mean, being at 80 years old, I mean, they probably had been together for
65 years.
wow, that's number one, that's beautiful, and number two, that is a long ass time.
Exactly. I tell my wife,
to live without that person is strange at that point. You know what I mean? So I could see that going down it. So like what people they say that they die of a broken heart, essentially probably just like a heart attack. He probably just got panicked and like went into a cardiac arrest or something like that. So
it could have been that. It could have been an undiagnosed illness.
Yeah, that's true.
Brain, something within his brain. But yeah.
65 years. Wow. That is amazing. I don't think at this point, I don't think I'd find somebody that would be able to say I've been married to them for 65 years at this point. So, because I'm probably going to die before I'm 80.
I don't think so, because since meeting all of you guys, and especially with, our group chat, I do ask for special blessings for all of you guys, because you guys are all very near and dear to my heart. So I ask especially, I ask for Hera to fight for you guys. I ask Aphrodite to love you unconditionally so that you may know love. And then when I get a kind of a stubborn man, I ask Lilith to give me a little bit more strength. So just increase the size of my balls, please.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That's beautiful. But yeah, I love our community too. David has brought a lot of us together. I feel like Amanda is wonderful, and then the other Amanda from Canada, she's a lovely person. I've been talking to her on and off here and there. And we connected through Amanda's podcast. One Nothing was the first time, like, because we both listened to that, and then and we both are on her commercial.
I got to have a sneak peek of her commercial. I was in Reno for In This Moment, and
I love that band.
That is the mother goddess, Miss Maria Brink, our mother goddess.
I've been in love with her since fucking 2008.
Me too, actually. But Amanda's like, do you want to listen to my commercial? And I'm like, heck yeah. And so she sent it to me. I listened to it and I messaged her back. I'm like, this is amazing. I would never want to hear a commercial. This is fantastic. I love this. Um, but yeah, Amanda, I connected with her through the other Amanda. And yeah, she's so much fun, and she gets out there and she does the thing, and then she, brings it back and lets other people kind of experience it.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, I really enjoy everybody's aspect of their life. It's funny that because we're all in different parts of the country with completely different life experiences, and the fact that we can all come together and enjoy not only our time talking to each other, but also share our lives with one another, being so far apart, is amazing to me. Um, so I am extremely grateful not only for meeting you, but for meeting everybody else. And I have fun talking with you guys and shooting the shit and joking around and all that. So it's been fun. It's been a blessing, I think. And I do appreciate you for the calling, for the blessings and whatnot. That's more than I could ever ask for somebody that I just started to get to know. So
Well,
that goes into more of your selflessness.
no,
There,
thank
now I used the ness part right.
the NIST part, yes. I feel the same way. I absolutely love that we can share our experiences. We can not only share our experiences, but share in things that we enjoy.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you, when we get on with David, trying to out weird you is like it's the best part of the day. It's like what meme can we come up with to make Kevin go, oh, wow. Oh, that was cool. Oh, I like that.
Oh man, I love you guys. All of you. If Amanda and David and Larry are listening, I love you guys. Larry's
Yeah.
been fun to talk to as well. So I asked him to be on the podcast, but I guess he has a lot of um work hours. So he's like, "Oh, I'm busy, but it should slow down soon." So maybe he'll be on at some point and tell his stories. But
I hope so. Yeah.
yeah. So do you talking about your witchiness, do you have people like the people that know, do they come to you for like certain things? Like one of the things you said was luck. Do they like come to you and be like, what's something that I can do for this?
Um, so far it's only been the young baby witch,
Hmm.
her asking, um, like, because she's trying to find her niche. She's trying to find where she feels her calling. And so she's asked a couple of times, like, how do you cook and receive this kind of blessing or this kind of benefit from that? A lot of it mostly is her own kind of personal journey in love. She's wanting to meet somebody um, that she can have those 65 or so years with. And it's those kind of things. With my best friend, I cook for her constantly. I will bring us lunch and I will cook different things. And it's for that, it's for safety, it's for love, it's for companionship. Um, and I feel like that is one of the best things you can do for someone that you care about, whether platonically or romantically, is you cook for them, because you nourish their soul and you give them an inner beginning to whatever it is they are going after.
Right.
But I do kind of keep it a little low key. Right. But if someone, I started actually more like since the 1692 t-shirts have come out. I have several, and one I have, it says the deaths in Salem, and it says 1692, you missed one. And I wore that to
I
work.
think I saw that pic. I think you posted a picture of that
Oh yeah.
shirt. Yeah.
And I wore it to work, and my assistant manager, who's a very spiritual man, he says, I just have to ask you, and you're probably gonna laugh at me. And I said, okay, what? And he goes, are you a witch? And I said, yeah, actually I am. I do practice witchcraft. And I thought he was gonna, do the whole, and he goes, that is the coolest thing I've ever heard.
Nice. You never know who's in your corner until you kind of like show your freak flag, even if it's for a day or for like a second or something like that. Your vibe attracts your tribe. And I will say that
Definitely.
until the day that I die.
Definitely.
And fuck. This happens to me every time. While you were talking, I had this other question that I wanted to ask, and I completely forget now. But are you so since you keep it low key, which we discussed earlier too, do you this is all right, I remember the question now. So earlier you had said something that you are not in a covenant, you practice lone witchcraft, and you don't want to get into like the dark magic. If you're in a covenant, do you have to practice the darkness, or
No.
okay.
Most of the time when you want to practice specific rituals, or a lot of times eclectic witchcraft, those are the people who join covens so that they have like-minded people with them, and you can utilize the elements, the earth, moon, water, fire. You can worship in specific ways. In kind of a way, it's like organized religion. You have a leader, and then you have the followers. I am no leader, nor I am a follower. So I choose solitariness because I want to practice what I want to practice. Also, unfortunately, if you go awry of your coven, there could be those who wish you harm and who may try to initiate different kinds of spells, or if they don't like you, they can bind you to where you can't practice your craft at all.
That makes sense. That's smart on you then. That is smart on you. And you said it was 7 years ago that you started this path?
Yeah. Because my wife and I just celebrated 7 years together. We've been married 4. But when I met her, I left our first date. I went home and I told my mom, I'm like, she makes me feel all of these things that I've never felt before. And I said, I want a home. I want children. I want to settle down. And my mom said, well, then it's time that you learn your craft. And she said, you need to learn to cook. because that's how you will sustain your family. That's how you will strengthen your family. That's how you will heal your family. And so she started teaching me simply because I had met my wife and I wanted those things.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. And you said your wife is like a complete skeptic.
Yeah. So we're so polar opposite. She long blonde hair, beautiful blue eyes, just in law enforcement, very strong character. And then in country music. Um, but and then you have me with the mohawk and the black shirts and the heavy metal. But then our core values were where we connected: family, being good humans, not only being productive humans, but just being good humans. And I admire and respect her because she fights monsters every time she goes to work. And so I wanted to be able to bring my family's practices into our home to give her that little extra protection that her other tools, her other equipment may not be able to give her.
Well, friends, I need you to take a second. Head on over to www.fineartmedia.com. Emily is a medium, a working medium at that. She does readings, and she's artsy. She does graphic design. So, if you're in the market for a logo, because maybe you're starting a business, maybe you're even starting a podcast, and your logo needs met, Emily is who you want to reach out to. I promise you won't be disappointed in her artwork. I also know that if you need a reading, past life regression, this medium, not only is she compassionate, she's extremely intelligent. She will get your needs met. You can go onto her website. You can see all of her reviews. I promise you, my friends, you won't be disappointed in this. So give her your time if you're in the need for it. She made a couple of my t-shirt designs, and we're working on a comic book. So if you have graphic design needs, check her out. As always, my friends, stay weird.
Now, one of the things that you had brought up to my attention early on, and when we first started talking, was that you had been attacked. You were physically assaulted. If you don't mind, you don't have to if it's a sore subject, but if you don't mind telling the story, I'd be happy to hear it.
Oh yeah. So I actually lived, to go back just a little bit. My mom taught us never to see color.
Never to what? Seek
To
help?
see color.
Oh,
So
see color. Okay, I
ethnicity.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
If they were a good person, they were a good person. It didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I went to college, I lived in South Central Los Angeles. and was the only white lesbian on the street. But because I showed respect for them, they showed respect for me. So I never had any kind of experiences like this. So I went to a gas station that was in an all black neighborhood. Um, I went to get out, and the car on the other side of me, she grabbed the gas pump and put it into her vehicle. We've speculated. We don't know if she thought I had paid already, if she was just wanting to start a fight. But we really don't know. And of course, I'm not one to mix my words. So the minute I stepped out of the car, I said, "What the fuck? Seriously?" And as soon as I said it, she jumped on me, and she started punching and hitting. So I got a hold of her, and I brought her head. I got a hold of her hair. I brought her head to my chest, and so that she couldn't get too good too good a range into hit. And we went to the ground. And as I went to the ground, I was trying to kick her knee out so that I could get up and get away from her. And a black man came out of nowhere, because both of the women that were involved, they were black as well. He came from nowhere, and he grabbed a hold of my hands, and he pushed it to where my hands were like this on my chest. So I couldn't get a hold of her. And as soon as he did that, my pocket knife fell out of my pocket, and she got a hold of it, and she started hitting me in the head and the face with it. So I pushed back against him. He let go, and I was able to get up. Well, as soon as I got up, the other woman that was in the car with them, she grabbed my glasses off my face. And unfortunately, I'm semi-blind without them. And she took me to the ground, and she took the knife and started hitting me in the head and in the face with it. And then the other woman who I was fighting with before, she was taking and putting her hand into my face, trying to gouge out my eyes. So I covered my face. I was able to get up and move. And the minute I got up and moved and turned around where I could see both of them, they were like, "Fuck this, we need to get out of here." And they took off. I had, they busted the orbital bone around my eye. I have a scar here from one of the hits that busted my head open. I had 7 incisions on the top of my head. And I truly believe it was because I was white, I was in their neighborhood, and I didn't back down. And I don't care. I won't. I would rather die on my feet than beg on my knees.
I am with you on that for sure. People say that black people can't be racist, but we see it every day. And I'm not somebody who sees color either. I believe we're all one race. I don't believe in different races. I believe we're all human beings. I mean, we're all built the same. I mean, our skin color can be different. Our facial features are different, our body masses are different, but we still have hearts. We have the same amount of bones. We have the hearts in the same spots. We have our organs are all in the same spot. We all bleed red. We all feel the same feelings. We all experience the same emotions throughout our lives. So we are not that different. We are more similar than we are different. But this whole notion that only white people are racist is wild to me. So to me, from what you said, it sounds like she wanted an altercation, which is why she grabbed your gas pump to begin with.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, like, you know, I have friends that are Black, that are Hispanic, that are Filipino, you name it. I don't
Mhm.
care where you come from. And it's like I was trying to explain to someone else. I said, you know, they were just a bad group within that ethnicity. They were a bad group.
Yeah, and
Um,
there's bad people in every group, in every community. There's
right.
bad apples on in every group of people. So to judge a group of people based on those bad apples is not, I feel like it's not accurate to do so, or not. Well, I don't know the word that I'm trying to describe, but like you said, there's a bad, sometimes a tree has a bad apple and it just drops.
Well, and that's kind of the truth. And I mean, I truly believe in reverse racism, as you know, with discussions I've had about this.
Mhm.
If it had been, if the tables had been turned, if it had been, you know, three um, three white people, three Hispanic people, three Asian people that had attacked this one Black woman, there would have been riots, there would have been demonstrations, that would have been all over the news. The police department, Stockton Police Department, where it happened, flat out told me they weren't even really going to investigate it because it was one isolated incident in
What the
a,
fuck?
yeah, in a whole community of murders and rapes and theft. And I'm like, okay,
That's ridiculous to me.
yeah,
That
me
is
too.
ridiculous. That's wild. Oh,
And
we're
the
not gonna do our job because we have to do our job and on other things.
oh
What?
yeah, and yeah, my wife was angry. She was so angry because she's like, you know what? This gives a bad name to the rest of us, that they can't even go out, look at the surveillance footage to see it. It captured their license plate, it captured the make and model of their vehicle, it captured them. So
Yeah,
she's like, it would have been an easy, they would just had just actually go
yeah,
out and find them.
exactly. It could have been one of the easiest arrests they've ever made.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? That's crazy. And so the guy wasn't in the car with them. He just came
No,
out of nowhere.
no, he that was something that really got to me, is he wasn't even with these women. He was from completely somewhere else behind, because he came up behind me, and when he grabbed a hold of my hands, sorry, my dog's sneezing. uh, uh, when he came up behind me and grabbed my hands and brought him to my chest, he pulled me to the ground. So
Oh my
it gave
God.
her, you know, it gave her the word am I looking for? The upper hand, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a wild story.
Yeah. But you know what? I'll be brutally honest. I don't hate anybody over this. Them, yes, I hate them.
Yeah.
But I don't hate them because they're Black. I hate them because they were stupid and they
Yeah.
were mean, and there was no reason for it.
There was
But
absolutely no reason for it.
um, so yeah, it hasn't created any kind of animosity or hate in my heart other than for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Stacy, um, you have some interesting stories, and I definitely enjoy listening to your cooking stuff. So I hope you share that more going forward, that you are into that, because I feel like you could help maybe not like a grand amount of people, but I feel like there's more people out there that you could possibly touch and make them live more positively in this world with the things that you're doing. So if you want to, I don't know if you're interested in having more followers on your Instagram or anything, but if you would like to, you could basically shout out your Instagram if you want to do that.
Okay, yeah. I love a good conversation, so I would absolutely love to be able to give somebody a tool or an ingredient that may help them feel better. So you can find me at the Witch with All the Gifts, and there's a period in between each one, and then I had to throw the 666 in just because it's fun and people get all ooh because it's the mark of the beast.
All right. And if you want to shout out some of the podcasts you listen to, that'd be great too, because I
Oh,
feel like
yeah.
there's more than just
Oh,
mine and
please.
Amanda's.
Definitely. I love Down the Rabbit Holes videos. Farah with the Conversation Cabin. She is the salt of the earth.
Oh my God, yes, I agree.
Samantha and Tracy at the Suspended Sentence. I love them. Love, love, love them. I just started listening to the Total Conundrum. They reached out and asked if I would like to listen. So I've started listening to them, and I haven't gotten through too many episodes, but so far it sounds great. I love hashtag murder. What's the other one? This shit really happened. If you want an amazing, just fun conversation about the weirdest stuff, this shit really happens a good one too. And I can't help but I've got to talk about a dose. It's evading me at the moment. A dose of true crime. It's Erin is a toxicologist, and she brings stories about poisonings and things, and then she tells you the toxicology behind it, like why did this substance do this? And truthfully, I know a lot about those substances from a dark book that I have that I refuse to look at. It's actually in my sister's storage. Our father's mother had a dark book that talked a lot about different poisons, like how you can make different poisons. And so I find myself a lot of time when she's going through it, like going, yeah, that's what that is. Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's funny. That sounds like a good podcast.
It really is. Yeah. It's completely different. It's kind of like Amanda's at 1-0. How hers is completely different than any I'd ever heard. And so I feel like Erin's is that as well. And then just listening to like I'm sorry, one more too. Courtney in Haunts, the Haunts podcast. And then her and Farah do Haunts in the Cabin. That's wild. It's on YouTube like you are. It's wild. I cannot tell you how many times I've watched and just went, oh shit. Oh no. Oh, you're kidding. What the fuck?
Stupid. I feel like them two together put on a really good song.
And I'm glad that they linked up for that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Anyway, so I would like everybody, if you tell your stories, it's where the weird ones are at gmail.com. Instagram's where _ the weird ones are on Facebook. And whatever. But if you enjoyed this conversation, please go to Stacy out. And if you have any questions, like she said, she's down to conversate with you. And like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. Rate, leave a review if you feel so inclined to do so. If you don't want to, that's 100% fine. It's not going to hurt my feelings. So,
No, please, anybody that sees this or hears it, check Kevin out. You are a righteous dude. And the fact that you have so many wonderful topics that you touch on that you're so knowledgeable about, it brings a lot back to us and to the community and to listeners. And then you throw in that joke or that wicked smile. I'm telling you, if I liked boys, that wicked smile.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. Honestly, you're 100% my kind of person, and I really enjoy talking to you. And I'm so glad that we not only are connecting on here for the show, but that we are able to connect every day regularly through our mutual friends and whatnot. So it's been extremely fun to be able to talk to you, and it's been a few months now of conversing with you. So it's been fun.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
So anyways,
if I may, before we go,
yep.
If you'll say this with me, as above,
so below. Oh, you want me to say the word?
No, you're so below, as within the universe.
As within the universe. I don't know what comes next. So as within the universe.
So is the soul.
So is the soul.
Which is the shorter version of a universal blessing. So as above, so below, so within, so without, so is the universe, so the soul. So may the universe continue to bless you and bring you.
Oh, okay. All right. I've only heard that first part before. I've never heard the rest of that. So that is beautiful, actually.
Thank you.
So thank you for that. I'm definitely going to clip this, I think, after this episode airs and share it everywhere, especially this part. So if you don't mind saying it one more again, I would really love it.
As above, so below. As within, so without. As the universe, so the soul. Many blessings to you all.
Beautiful, Stacy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that's the show. So, like I said, like, follow, share, subscribe. And with that, I hope you have a good day. Have a good night. Whatever time you decide to listen to this, and question everything.
Question everything.
Absolutely. Stay weird, everybody.
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.
Because in the end, none of us have very long on this earth. Life is fleeting. And if you're ever distressed, cast your eyes to the summer sky, when the stars are strung across the velvety night, and when a shooting star streaks through the blackness, turning night into day. Make a wish.